Week 3 of the CGT. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm very nervous for this game. I'm very nervous for all CGT games. But this week we go up against Sallymumble, Coach the Austin Tauros, someone who has been such a kind person in this league, someone who I've only recently gotten to know, who is absolutely spectacular. Please go check out his channel. I know his channel has been on a little bit of a rise recently, and let's make sure we keep that trajectory going. So definitely go check him out, subscribe to him if you haven't, because he makes really quality content, and he's just such a likable guy. Like, I just like watching all his games. So I hope you all go check out Sally, and yeah, he's our opponent this week. So it's going to be interesting. So the way the standings look right now is it's extremely balanced, right? After 2 weeks, I said in the draft analysis and the draft stream, everyone's capable of beating everyone here, and the standings show that. Basically, most people are 1-1. Most people have won a game, most people have lost a game. There's 3 people who are 0-2, and there's 3 people who are 2-0, one of them being me. So yeah, that's going to be interesting. It's going to be a very tight race, and we want to make sure that we win this game so that we're not caught near the middle in the 2-1s, and we're more at the top. The 3 people who are 2-0 are me, Vepsis, and Shuckle King. Vepsis and Shuckle King play this week, so if we win, we're going to rise in the standings even further and solidify that higher end slot so we don't have to worry about a playoffs race, you know, in the middle of the season. So winning this just kind of sort of extends our lead and takes a little bit of weight off our shoulders, especially because, again, every game is tough. So starting off 3-0 would be absolutely amazing. So we'll see. But Sally is a very, very tough opponent. He's coming into this game 1-1 with a +0 differential. Both of his games have been extremely close, both his win and his loss. So he's definitely very capable of taking it down to the wire. And part of it is like the nature of his hyper offense team, which is, you know, scary. This is probably the most offensive team we've fought so far this season. So Sven was a little bit more defensive, I'd say, and then Goldoa was a little bit more towards the middle. This is definitely looking like the more offensive game we played so far this season. So we're going to see if I have the tools to beat it, and we'll see if we can extend our streak. All right, let's go to the team builder. Alright, so below me you're going to see Sallymumble's draft. Extremely scary. We're looking at Tapu Koko, Latias, Mamoswine, Scizor. Those top 4 are very terrifying. I've never been great at dealing with Porygon Z either. That's going to be a huge issue for us. And then some of the bottom tiers are scary too. I'm not very concerned about Pinsir or Kubfu, but Sceptile can be scary under electric terrain with the right tools. Lantern as well, very capable of coming. He did very well with it in week 1. And then Mudsdale just would be a difficult rocker, difficult defensive mon to take care of. Weezing is also possible to deal with my Landorus. But if I had to sort of guess 5 mons that were coming, it would be the top 5 plus either Mudsdale or Weezing, I would say. I think Zarude's matchup is a little bit iffy here between me U-turning with Landorus and Weavile having Ice Shard and me having a whole ass Skarmory. Just like, I think I have a lot of things that are able to beat back Zarude. And I feel that way about most grasses that I go up against this season just because I have triple flying. So yeah, so this is the team that we are going to be bringing. We are going to start out with a Choice Scarf Landorus, which is max speed in order to outspeed a Choice Scarf Porygon Z, but is really good this game. The resists are there, you know, it's Sceptile, it's Weezing with Levitate, Zarude, Latias, all these Levitator options are there, but just the ability to revenge Koko and outspeed it is good enough to justify me bringing Choice Scarf here. Plus, for those mons I just mentioned, I don't really need much additional coverage for it. I can U-turn on Latias or knock off Latias, U-turn on Zarude, knock off Mudsdale's helmet or lefties or something to stop it from recovering, and I don't think it's capable of being rust this game because of electric terrain. And, you know, against Weezing I can knock off. I considered having Psychic on the set for Weezing, but I think Explosion is just a smidge more valuable to handle any potential setup like Iron Defense Koko or some kind of defensive Latias set. But yeah, it's just very standard Scarf Landorus here. really solid revenge option in this game that I hope he does not see. So usually Weavile has been doing the revenging the past 2 weeks, but in this game it is going to be our choice Scarf Landorus. The next mon is Necrozma. I toyed around with this set quite a bit. I wanted to see if I could fit X-Scissor on here for Zarude, but Zarude just wasn't coming in mocks. And Latias is a thing, sure, but I don't know. I feel like I'd rather Toxic it more than anything else. It's actually a very, very cool Necrozma set. This Necrozma set ensures that a max attack Zarude Darkest Lariat will never 2-hit KO me, which is super cool. Same with a Scissors U-turn, unless it is boosted. It will 2-shot me, but it doesn't do enough that, like, it isn't a big deal since it momentum's out afterwards. Mamoswine does a bit to this if it's choice banded. Icicle Crash and Earthquake do around 60 to 70% from a banded set, but if it's not banded, I am capable of taking Earthquakes, Icicle Crashes, etc. It hits pretty well from Coco as well. It takes about 20% from Dazzling Gleam, takes about 45% from Thunderbolt. I just EV'd this to really not be too KO'd by a lot of things, but really it's just the stab that is really solid on this. Like, if I lead this is kind of what I'm thinking is going to be my most likely lead. If I lead this against Mudsdale, if I lead this against Scissor, against Mamoswine, Photon Geyser's 2-hit KOing anything. And the things that are switching in Latias, I would love to get Toxic so that, like, Keldeo can pivot on it and just rack up residual chip. So every Photon Geyser resist, I guess is what I'm saying, doesn't want to take a Heat Wave or Toxic. And just leading this and putting instant game pressure and setting the conditions for the certain mons that I think can be defensive issues for my team, i.e. Latias and Mudsdale, to be Toxic as quick off the bat as possible will be really, really good for me. Yeah, so that is why we have this sort of offensive, defensive Necrozma to put on early game pressure and to Toxic the things that I want Toxic for my pivoters to, you know, be able to pivot on and rack up additional chip. Finally, we are bringing Banded Weavile this week. Unfortunately, because of Latias, by just 1 point, we're not able to go Adamant, which sucks. But we do outspeed a Modest Coco, so that's good at least. We have Knockoff, Crash, Ice Shard, and Assurance. Knockoff and Icicle Crash hit virtually everything. The one answer to Banded Weavile, I guess you could argue 2 answers to Banded Weavile, are Wheezing, which just doesn't have reliable recovery outside of Pain Split and just won't be sustainable enough to take on a banded set. Maybe a non-banded set, but not a banded set. And then Scissor. Max Defense, Helmet, Scissor is an issue for Banded Weavile. Nothing to it KOs defensive Scissor from Banded Weavile, including Knockoff into another Knockoff, plus like the threat of Bullet Punch exists. So this is why we have Assurance. I was between Low Kick and Assurance. Low Kick just guarantees a OHKO against Mamoswine, but Knockoff does like 76% anyway. Assurance is there because if Sally switches in on Rocks, which I do have on my Skarmory, with his Scissor, and takes Rocks chip, Banded Assurance will double in damage because the opponent took damage that turn from the Stealth Rocks, and that's how Assurance works. If the opponent was damaged in the same turn, the power of the move doubles. So I use Assurance after Scissor takes Rocks damage on switch-in, and it's a 120 base power Dark-type move that does, I believe, around 80% to max defensive Scissor. So that is there if sort of a bulky Scissor is becoming an issue. It's something that can, if EV'd right, can deal with my Landorus. If he plays right, you know, might pivot from my Necrozma. It's also why I have some of these other mons later on. So Scissor can be an issue for this team, and just being sure I catch it on the switch-in is really solid. So I want to be able to have that option with Assurance. The odds I click it, probably not the most high, but just having it just in case, pretty good. This next mon is Keldeo. Keldeo has 2 jobs. Keldeo's first job is to be able to switch in on any form of Porygon Z. If it is a Specs Porygon Z, it'll do about 65%, but I will know after seeing that damage, and I will know that I am capable of outspeeding that Porygon Z, which will be very good. And I can just go for an attack against it. If it does less than half, then I know that it is a Choice Scarf variant, or a non-Choice Specs variant, I should say. I really only expect Scarf for Specs, but I guess it could be some kind of setup. But yeah, the damage that PZ does to me is going to be really important because I'll switch into Keldeo and I'll know what it is, and that's going to let me sort of be a little bit more aware of speed control, because I need to figure out what outspeeds PZ or not, because it just lets me figure out my revenging options a lot better. I'm not creeping Zarude. Again, I think I have solid answers for Zarude already, and being able to outspeed it and do damage to it doesn't seem super necessary to me. I would much rather have the Modest to deal as much damage as possible to things like Scissor, PZ, Mudsdale, Weezing, even Coco, switching on a Scald if possible. We have Icy Wind to take on the Latias, but you know, if I am capable of Toxicking the Latias with Necrozma, that racking up with Flip Turn is going to be really nice. So Keldeo is going to be our main pivot to core with Landorus here, just being able to swap between the two, and it's very nice in this matchup, that pivot core in particular, because Landorus is U-turning on Mudsdale, Weezing, basically those two. Mudsdale and Weezing is what it's U-turning on, which I expect one of them to come, and then Keldeo pressures those once it pivots with U-turn on those. And also pressures on Mamoswine, for example, as well. This is probably my best means to revenge Mamoswine, so I like it for that too. The next mon is Skarmory. We are running Body Press this week because he has no Ghost, and the only thing it doesn't hit super effectively, I mean, Coco, Latias, Weezing, but I wasn't hitting either of them for much damage anyway. Plus I have Whirlwind to Whirlwind them out and make them take more Rocks damage. So this mon is kind of passive to Coco, but if Coco comes in on this, I don't really mind too much. If I'm at Sturdy, I'll just get down to the Sturdy and click Stealth Rocks. Or Whirlwind. If I want to, I can also go into Zeppelin if it has enough health to, you know, be an okay switch into Coco. So I'm actually thinking of going like this just to take D-Gleams marginally better. I doubt it'll matter. But actually, I already genned it. It won't matter. But yeah, this is the Skarmory. It's just the rocker. It comes in on Zarude. It comes in on Scissor. Makes him take Helmet Chip. It's also a decent answer to Mamoswine as well, which is super cool. So yeah, that is the Skarmory. Final mon, you've been looking at it for a while, and I'm very happy that I get to bring it this week. It is Magmar, our one-pointer of the draft. I didn't know when I would want to bring it this season, and I looked at this matchup, and I said, okay, I think this is the matchup for Magmar here. When I was drafting, this is one of the teams I looked at and said, okay, Magmar could be solid here because I can have issues with Scissor. And it's a really good speed tier against Sally. It just outspeeds Porygon Z, it just outspeeds Scissor, outspeeds Mamoswine. And what I like about it is that I can Flamethrower most things, I can Focus Blast things that Flamethrower isn't good against, so particularly Mamoswine with Thick Fat, or I can Focus Blast PZ if it's a higher range of health, which is super nice. And then Seismic Toss, it does the most possible damage to Latias. I guess Dual Chop does marginally more, but I don't want to risk like a helmet or anything like that. So we went S-Toss, which breaks a Latias' sub always, which was something I was thinking about in mocks. And then Toxic is there to toxic things like Lantern, Latias on switch in, which again, it just helps rack up that chip against Sally's team. So this will hopefully be able to revenge. It'll also maybe be able to switch into Scissor and maybe give a Flame Body burn or something like that, which is super nice. But generally speaking, yeah, this Magmar just looks pretty solid here. Fire Stab looks really good against Sally's team. So just being able to click Flamethrower, super cool. The reason I have Flamethrower and not Lava Plume is obviously because I want to toxic things. I don't want to burn things. So that is the other rationale. And I'd like to just get maximum damage output on my fire moves. But I didn't go Fire Blast because I am scared. I had it originally, but I was fearful. So that is why we have Flamethrower now. All right. That is the team. A little bit longer team builder than usual, I assume, but it is actually a pretty detailed team because I really do want to get this 3-0 here. So, yeah, we are going to get into the game. All right, we're here, week 3. My turtle just shat in his tank where he was not supposed to shit. So, that was fun cleaning up. On top of that, sorry, just scooching my chair in, I'm having a pretty bad day. I'll just be pretty transparent with that. Got some big family issues. Gonna be kind of talking to an estranged relative tonight, which is not fun. But by the time this goes up, it'll be like a week past now anyway. But yeah, I'm just not having a good day. Got in a fight with someone, not a physical fight, like a angry fight. I don't know why I'm sharing all this. It's probably a little TMI. But this will be fine. We'll play. And I'm hoping that just some of my IRL stuff isn't going to get into this game. You know, if you got it, I'll be 151. Now, if all goes according to plan, we'll have a new battle stadium. I did the battle frontier, or the battle tower rather, so we can get that stadium. But if it doesn't work, then hey. But it'll be fine. Let's talk about Pokemon. Let's talk about Pokemon things. I expect his top 5, like I said in the team builder. Latios, Coco, Peasy, Scizor, and Mamoswine are already written down. It's just a question of the 6th, so we will see how it goes. Let me just make sure everything's fine. I don't know. I feel very weird about this. I have like a very like strange feeling about this game, but also I've said that like 50% of the times before. Sometimes it works, doesn't working. What? Sorry, those weren't words. What the fuck is going on with me? Like half the time I'm like, oh, I don't feel comfortable with this game or this matchup or whatever, and I'm fine. So I'm just being a little over dramatic. All right, cool. We're gonna see what he brings. I expect to see those top 5. If I see Sceptile or Lantern, I'm gonna be a little shaken. No, it's top 5 plus Weezing. This is exactly what I expected. Weezing over what's it called? Mudsdale is less preferred, but it's fine. The reason I just don't prefer it as much is because T-Spikes are possible, but I also have 2 grounded poison, so I'm not sure how likely that is. Yeah, you too. I think I'm just going to lead with Necrozma. I should be able to 1v1 anything, and Necrozma is there to just lay toxics on things. And the things that are toxic immune just get nuked by Necrozma. So I think that's the way I want to go here. I'm going to put Necrozma in on my calc. And we'll see what he leads with. I'm glad nothing strange came in terms of like Mons. Because I was taken aback by a lot of what Goldoa brought last time. So, hey, we got the cool background. How neat. Alright, we got Jax here. What is Jax? Jax is Porygon Z. That is not the coolest. I have 2 options, right? So option number 1 is literally just to like chew whatever this is, do 65 to 78 with a Photon Geyser. Option number 2 is to go into Keldeo, and I think that's the better route here. It'll give me information on what this is, which I like. So we'll see. I should know from this damage what it is. We do see a Tri-Attack. And we do know its specs. Good to know. I am going to go for a Sacred Sword here. So we know that this thing is specs. And we know that Latios is now the switch-in. I could have gone for Flip Turn there, but okay, that does 20%. Actually looks like max HP, so that's good to know. I am going to go back into my Necrozma here and lay off a Toxic. If he makes a double, that's going to be amazing. Wow. Well done. Alright. I'm going to make the play that I was going to make before. Interesting. Someone told me that Sally makes kind of safer plays, so seeing him do that is cool. I'm going to go for the Photon Geyser here. I shouldn't die to a tri-attack, but he is going to pick me off. Now I'm going to have to figure out what my most expendable thing is. Okay, so we'll get a big Photon Geyser off, which is nice. Gonna do a good amount. I don't know what I recover on at this point, so I'm just gonna let this kill me. It sucks. I would have liked to lay Toxic on a Latias perhaps, but we still have Magmar to be capable of doing that. And Magmar actually looks like a really nice swap in here, I will say. Alternatively, I could go into Landorus and go for knockoff, or I can go into Weavile and go for knockoff. But I think my best play is just go into Magmar and go for Flamethrower. Because if he goes into Latias, I can Toxic it, which I like a lot. So we're going to go for Flamethrower here. I perhaps wonder if S-Toss killed, but I'm not going to risk it. I don't know. Great double there. That was great. That was really strong. Well done. Does swap out. So maybe I need to make more reads here. Igneous. Is that Wheezing? That's fine. I am perfectly okay with this being shipped. That does a chunk. That does a chunk, Magmar. Let's go. That's super cool. And I think he's going to regret that play for sure. He's going to swap out again into Falco. That's fine. I want to lay a Toxic off on this thing without question. I need a Toxic off on this thing, I should say. So we're going to go for Flamethrower. Ideally no burn. Okay, perfect. I don't die to anything, right? Beautiful. No, I don't die to a max special attack Draco. He would have to be modest to kill me with Draco. Go for Mystical Fire. Makes sense. Thankfully, I do have the S-Toss. So he's Mystical Fire on this. Wheezing looks to be at about 40%. PZ looks to be at about 30%. Okay. I'm going to go for S-Toss here, because it's kind of free. Draco kills me with a high roll-ish. So we're going to S-Toss here. But if he Dracos, yeah, that's fine. Psyshock shouldn't kill me. Cool. Yeah, this is max HP. Alright, do I want to preserve this? It revenges PZ, but that's kind of it. And once this is gone, like, Keldeo looks good. Keldeo looks really good. It's going to recover, but I'm going to... This is going to rack up. So Magmar's doing work, which I like to see. I'm glad I put S-Toss on this. It doesn't do as much as I'd hoped. And this should do about 18 now. Yep. So he'll be at like low at least, but it's just like not great. Do you see a side shot? Could have gone to Landorus, but I don't really have a reason to do that. We did notice that it's not Black Sludge on the Wheezing, so that's cool. It makes me think it's probably Helmet. If I just go Lando here and knock off, well, he'll know. I think my play is to go into Warrior, probably. So this thing's at about 30, which is cool. I could also double, but he could easily let this thing go. So I'm just going to knock off. Could also lose Wheezing here if he chooses to sack that. Yeah, that makes sense. But this is gonna free up Lando a lot, which I like. I like it quite a bit. Weavile gets kill on Wheezing, which is cool. Now we get to see what the swap in is. Helmet, like we saw. How do I win this? Siba. This. Okay, interesting. So I could go into U here. I like going into U here because even if you U-turn, you're going to take helmet chip. Yep. So we see the U-turn. 172 to... That did 9. Skarmory. That looks to be... It could be anything. It could literally be max adamant or no investment at all. That was absolute max roll for... yeah, that's min roll for max adamant and max roll for no attack. So that gives me no information. That's cool. Did like 1 point less or 1 point more. That would have been ideal. Oh, I see. Well, that sucks. I need this. That sucks. Do I need Bristol? No. If T-Bolt's good on him, but I can't go into Landorus, I don't think. Sucks, but whatever. Yeah. I could have stayed in and just body pressed, but like it wouldn't have made Skarmory that great of an answer anyway. Now I feel okay going into Zeppelin here and just clicking knockoff, I think. Does that bring in Coco? That might have not been good. Maybe I should U-turn here. Yeah, bringing in Coco sucks. Oh, but he won't know yet, so it's fine. Because I could just be a normal Landorus that outspeeds. Alright, so we kill this. I think the most likely swap in is going to be Mamoswine. Most likely. Yep. So we'll see what this is here. Just gonna go into Skarm, I think. Not gonna risk it. Okay, he stays in. That's good to see. If he's banned, I think I just lose here and now. We'll see. That is spooky. Rocks or Roost? I think the play is Roost. If he gets the flinch here, I just lose. Alright. This thing is Choice Bandit. She sucks. It's like not cool. Yeah, I've lost, I'm pretty sure. Can either body press. No, I think my play is I just have to hope for a miss. I have to hope for a miss. We're playing with misses and flinches here. God. We are playing with misses and flinches because I need rocks up for like, so here's the thing, right? I can either body press and like guarantee a KO with Weavile, but then like knock off, go for your turn. I might be able to make it work actually. Better not flinch now. Of course I flinch now. Ah! That sucks. Okay. Alright. I guess that was a misplay by me. I maybe could have, like, body pressed, and then gone Weavile here to pick up the knockout. I mean, the positive side is that I can still knock off here. And Ice Cold Crash won't kill me. Right? But it's just not ideal. Low kick wouldn't have even helped me. Does swap out. Falco. Good choice. So he sacks the Latias. I don't think there's a universe I win this. The universe I win this is the universe he doesn't have Ice Shard, and even then, it's like... That's the only way I win this. I win this if he kills me here with U-turn, and he doesn't have Ice Shard. So we'll see. Unfortunate we'll take the loss here, though. Part of me actually... I'm not killing this, am I? I'm just going to keep the differential. I think I'm going to explode. Because even if he doesn't have Ice Shard... Oh, he's oblivious, too. So I might just die. I do just die. Yeah, I'm done. We'll explode just to see if it works, but it won't. So good game to Sally. I did say I wasn't really in a good mental position today, but that's no excuse. He played a phenomenal game, and yeah, that's going to be a 0-3 loss. The league is hella tough. This league is really tough, and there is no one to discount in terms of how good they are. So, yeah, Sally's going to get that win there. We move to 2-1 plus 2, I'm pretty sure. And we play Galadite next week. So we'll see if we go to 0.500 or if we, you know, will win, which would be cool. But we'll see, we'll see. Things I could have done better this game. Let's reflect a little bit. It was really that double on that PZ that looked real good on me. Like, that PZ double forced me to sack Necrozma, and maybe I should have sacked something else. Maybe I should have sacked Magmar or something. Maybe I valued Magmar too highly there, but Magmar did do a great job at chipping down things like the Latias and breaking the Weezing. That being said, Necrozma could have done those things too. So perhaps sacking something else was the move there. Probably sack Magmar instead of Necrozma. But if I sack Magmar instead of Necrozma, I don't get that big hit off. I don't know. Another option too could have been going Weavile on the Latios. Like when Latios came in on my Sacred Sword, I could have then gone into Weavile because there was no way it was going to Mistral Fire, right? I was going to click Psyshock or something else. So I go Weavile, then he doubles into PZ. PZ can't stay in on that. That could have been cool. And of course, like I said, body pressing, not body pressing with Mamoswine soon enough was kind of rough. But I think he would have had it anyway, seeing that he was oblivious and such. So, tough game. Did not play that very well. But honestly, I think the reality is I didn't build that very well, perhaps. Well, I don't know. I kind of like the build. I didn't really lose any mocks, except one or two. So, who knows? Sometimes you just get outplayed. It happens. Nature of the game. All right. Yeah, I will see you on week 4. All right.